Hello everybody and a very warm welcome to the Red Bull Ring in Austria for round number 6 of the 2019 Euroformula Open. My name is Chris McCarthy. I'll be joined as ever by Elliot Wood in the commentary box. Today you are joining us for race number 2 of the weekend. We had race number 1 yesterday. It's going to be a 19-lapper as ever. We had qualifying this morning, which took place in dry conditions. Between qualifying and now, there has been rain. However, over the last 30 minutes, the sun has come back out again, and I believe the circuit will be dry. The last race that did take part on the circuit was in wet conditions. However, since then, temperatures have really picked up. The sun's come back out, and the track to me looks very, very dry. So that is all good news. As you can see, the cars are now making their way to the grid to form up. And very shortly after that, we'll get ready to go racing. Well, if you weren't with us yesterday, let's bring you up to speed with what you missed out on. It was a very, very dramatic race. Quite a few incidents taking place, unfortunately. A lot of drama going on, particularly at the start of the race, which really spread things out. Julian Hanses, who was on the front row, actually jumped the start and picked up a drive-through penalty for it. But lots of drivers getting themselves into a little bit of trouble, but one driver who avoided any dramas was Marino Sato, and he once again went on to take a victory in the Euroformula Open. It's becoming a thing that happens on a regular basis at the moment. It's happened in the last 5 races. He's 5 on the bounce so far, 7 for this season, which is very, very impressive indeed. 7 out of 11, that is, for Marino Sato, the team motorpark driver. He did have close company at the front, though. Jack Doohan did put him under a lot of pressure. Jack Doohan picking up his 2nd podium of the season with that result. And the Australian driver on what is a bit of a home race for him as well, the Red Bull Junior, came up from 7th on the grid to do that. Lucas Dunner was 3rd place. He is the only Austrian driver in the field. He finished 3rd yesterday, having started 10th on the grid. Lucas Dunner got a fantastic start to the race and then was just able to work his way through the order, particularly at the start. He managed to avoid any problems and was quickly up the order. He actually set some pretty good pace on the way. Despite picking up a 3-second penalty, he still finished a comfortable 3rd place. You can see the Carlin drivers are now making their way out onto the circuit, Billy Munger and Christian Hahn. They are the last team to have won here. Back in 2016, IndyCar driver Colton Herta took the double victory on that weekend. And we have the Carlin drivers here, of course, who are trying to repeat that result this weekend. Nikolai Kiergaard, Billy Munger and Christian Hahn. An unfortunate day for them yesterday, though. Christian Hahn and Billy Munger came together at the first corner. Christian Hahn picking up damage, eventually finishing in 10th place. Billy Munger would have a further off at turn 6, and then unfortunately got caught. It was a bit of an innocent victim in an incident that happened up at turn 3 as he was about to make a couple of positions out of Estante, lost the rear after touching with Julian Hanses and just clattered into Billy Munger, who was left with nowhere else to go. That left Billy Munger led to him eventually stopping on the final lap of the race. So he was classified in 11th, but actually didn't cross the line. Nikolai Kiergaard, it was even worse for him, non-finished. So a real day to forget for Carlin. We'll see how they get on today. Another British team who did go well, though, was Fortec Motorsport. They got one of their best results of the season, actually. It was a 4th place with Callum Williams, the Australian driver. Linus Lundqvist was the 2nd of the rookies, Jack Doohan being the 1st of them. He finished in 5th place, but was pretty disappointed with it, having gone off earlier in the race. Javier Gonzalez finished in 6th place. Julian Hanses, after he had his drive-through penalty, which took him out of the lead of the race, finished in 7th place. Out of Estante had that incident with Hanses and Munger and finished in 8th place. Cameron Daz was 9th, Hahn 10th, Munger 11th. And joining Kiergaard as non-finishers was Rui Andrade, who came off on lap number 7. And Pierre-Louis Chauvet actually didn't even make it round on the first lap. There was a pretty hefty incident up at turn 3. Just too many cars trying to go into one bit of road. And Pierre-Louis Chauvet came off the worst. The French driver, unfortunately, not finishing that race, nor did he finish the earlier qualifying session. We can see Marino Sato, he took pole position, leading the championship now by just under 100 points. 7 wins for him this season. Joining him on the front row once again, it's a repeat front row. Julian Hanses is going to line up alongside. He's sitting 6th in the championship at the moment, 3 podiums to his name. The lead rookie on the grid is Linus Lundqvist. He's going to be starting on 3rd. He is 5th in the championship at the moment, but is up to 2nd in the rookie standings. With no Liam Lawson, he has a chance to really close that gap. Jack Doohan is going to be starting from 4th place. As we said, he was on the podium yesterday. It was his 2nd podium finish of the season, and he is now up to 7th in the championship. Finishing 10th yesterday was Christian Hahn after he picked up that damage. He'll be hoping to make amends today. He has the pace to do really well this weekend, and if he can stay out of trouble, I fancy him to challenge for a podium. One driver who will definitely want to be on that podium, sporting a Niki Lauda tribute crash helmet, as you can see there, is Lucas Dunner. Got that specifically made for this event. A lot of support here for him. He's 2nd in the championship, 6 podiums, still yet to get that elusive win. Can he do it today? Here is Javier Gonzalez, raced well at times. Yesterday did Javier. Let's see how he gets on. He finished 6th in the end in yesterday's race. 4th place was Callum Williams, the Australian driver. A really, really good result. It boosted him up 4 places in the championship to 10th place. Let's see if he can further improve on that in this one. Pierre-Louis Chauvet, a driver who desperately needs some luck this weekend, and I really do hope for his sake that it comes his way. DNF yesterday, didn't finish qualifying today, so missed out on the last 3 minutes. Hence, his grid position is probably a little bit worse off than it might have been. Likanai Kiergaard was 10th place, one of many drivers to have their times deleted in qualifying. He was up a little bit further than that. I think he was in 5th, and then his time got deleted and he dropped to 10th. Rui Andrade, DNF for him yesterday. If he can finish, then he'll be doing better already. He's going to be starting from 11th on the grid, and then behind is Verstante Daz. Billy Munger's going to go right at the back of the field. So here were the highlights from yesterday there. You can see a clear jump start from Julian Hanses to the left of picture, but he would take the lead for the time being, but our net leader behind would be Marino Sato. Billy Munger came together with his teammate there, Christian Hahn, who was on the outside of the corner. Unfortunately, just not a lot of space. Billy Munger getting caught up on the curb and going into his teammate. That was where Jack Doohan went flying down the inside. There were just too many cars trying to go into one corner, and spinning round, unfortunately, was the likes of, I think it was Cameron Daz who went round in the end. Here we can see Lucas Dunner, who began to make his way up the field. That was a good move. Here was some more side-by-side action. This was the moment Billy Munger went out of the race. There you can see Verstante and Hanses just coming together, and then spinning into the path of Billy Munger. But out front, no one was able to contend with Marino Sato. Jack Doohan kept him very honest, but it was Sato who charged to take his 7th win of the season, and behind an Austrian podium for Lucas Dunner. So going back to the grid, fortunately, Billy Munger, who went up to, I think it was 3rd place, it was 5th place, sorry, right on the last lap, he went up to 5th, and then Billy Munger had that time deleted, dropped to 14th. So it's time for race number 2. There is the grid for you on screen. Marino Sato and Julian Hanses are going to be starting on the front row. Row number 2 is going to be Linus Lundqvist and Jack Doohan, an all-RR second row. Row 3, we have Carlin Motorsport with Christian Hahn, and the home favourite, it's Lucas Dunner. Javier Gonzalez and Callum Williams are going to be on row number 4. Pierre-Louis Chauvet and Nikolai Kiergaard will round out the top 10. Rui Andrade and Aldo Verstante will be on row number 6. And then completing the field, Cameron Daz and Billy Munger. A lot of work to do from the back of the grid. Elliot, who joins me now, a warm welcome to you in the commentary box. What's your thoughts ahead of this one?
I've done my usual pre-race ritual of checking the weather. It's what I do before every Euroformula Open race, and it is the driest it's been all weekend. So I don't think we're going to see any rain here, which won't help the likes of Billy Munger at the back of the grid.
Yeah, so just tell us a little bit about what happened there. It was, of course, we had that situation where we had a red flag during qualifying, 3 minutes then to get your laps in, and a lot of people were having to go for it on the very last lap of the session, and unfortunately just Billy Munger abusing track limits a little bit too much and had that lap deleted.
Yeah, it's all about hitting the limit as quickly as possible, especially when you've only got 3 minutes left of the session, and Billy Munger simply went over the limit. Quite literally, in that case.
Yeah, I guess so. Did you get a chance to speak to any of the drivers between qualifying and now? Have you had any of their thoughts ahead of this race?
The two motorpark guys at the front of the grid, Marino Sato and Julian Hanses, they're feeling very confident for the race. They've had problems throughout the year with clutch issues, which is possibly what caused Hanses' jump start in the first race. There's also tyre control throughout the race, and Sato said there was a huge progression in yesterday's race, and he's expecting more of the same today.
And what's your personal thoughts ahead of this race, your predictions?
I think the rookie battle is the one to watch today. We've got Linus Lundqvist in third and Jack Doohan in fourth. They're both driving for Double R Racing. And they had a bit of a collision yesterday, but still ended up 1-2 on the podium. They weren't happy with each other, so I think Lundqvist will want to get one over on Doohan today. Yeah,
and they're split by just 1 point in the rookie standings, by the way. Lundqvist on 56, Doohan on 55, so we will definitely keep an eye on that one. If you're wondering where the likes of Liam Lawson, Yuki Tsunoda and Tepi Notori are, unfortunately they're not here this weekend due to other commitments. But that's all good news for Marino Sato, who's been further extending his lead in the championship out front. It's now 7 wins for this season, with Julian Hanses second place on the grid. Second in the championship is Lucas Dunner, the Austrian, who is down on 6th place. Have you had a chance to speak to Lucas Dunner much this weekend?
Not this morning, but I've spoken to him on Friday and Saturday, and obviously the pace of the car isn't matching the expectations of him or his huge group of fans here in his home race. But he's starting quite high up the order, and as we saw yesterday, he kept his nose clean. He made his own opportunities, and that's how he got on the podium.
Yeah, I think that sums it up perfectly, actually. It was a case of yesterday, if you stayed out of trouble, you got a good result. Let's hope for a much cleaner race today. We want as much drama, but let's hope we have a cleaner race and everyone making it to the end in one piece. There you can see Marino Sato about to pull up on pole position here at the Red Bull Ring, which sits on the outside of the circuit due to that being the racing line. Give us a smile, Fortec. There we go. There are some happy faces down there before this race. There's Carlin, who are getting ready for this one. They've got their drivers 5th, 10th and 14th.
Nice shot of Motor Park as well.
Yep, they're on the front row lockout once again for them here in Austria, as you can see the last of the cars pulling up. So it's Sato and Hanses, Lundqvist and Doohan, Hahn, Dunner, Gonzalez, Williams, Chauvet, Kjærgaard, Andrade, Verstante, Daz and Munger. Green flag waves at the back, lights are starting to come up, revs are rising. Here we go for race 2 at Red Bull Ring. We're off away and racing. It looked like a very clean start at the front. Sato is going to get the jump and lead us down towards turn number 1. Hanses is under pressure though in second place, and I think that's Lundqvist going into second place. So Linus Lundqvist up into second. I think Jack Doohan went into third place as we head now down through turn number 2, the left-hander up until the heavy braking zone at turn number 3. There you could see Jack Doohan in the number 7. I think that's challenging Lucas Dunner as they come into the turn 3 braking zone for the first time, and a lot cleaner through there than it was yesterday. 1 or 2 drivers running wide. I think Christian Hahn was one of them, but other than that, Elliot, it's been a very clean start.
Yeah, Lucas Dunner made a great start there from 6th place. He was immediately up to 4th, and he's battling with Jack Doohan and Julian Hanses at the moment. He's kind of got boxed up there, which has allowed Doohan to pass around the outside of turn 4. Looking at the back of the order, Billy Munger hasn't made any place, and someone's gone off in the gravel there. Possibly just kicked up 2 wheels in the dust there.
Yeah, one thing about this circuit is between turns 4 and 7, you are straight in the gravel if you are off, and that has been catching people out all weekend, as Jack Doohan there running just a little bit wide and has lost a place to, I think it might have been Christian Hahn, and is under pressure from the likes of Javier Gonzalez now as well, as they tip their way through turn number 9 and turn number 10 for the first time. 19 laps we are going to complete. If we go on to safety car, laps will be added on unless we hit 35 minutes. Oh, someone running wide at the final corner. Was that Christian Hahn? I think it might have been Jack Doohan.
Jack Doohan.
Yeah,
he'd already lost 4 places and he's broken his front wing entirely there. They're going 3 wide down the pit straight. We're going to see them as they come through the first corner. And that is Cameron Das racing with one of the RP cars, and Doohan in the background, yeah, he is going very slowly now.
Yeah, Jack Doohan's going to have to maybe come into the pits with damage there. Under pressure, this looks like, is this Christian Hahn who is under pressure from the likes of Javier Gonzalez, who dives down the outside, and a little bit of locking up, but I think we've got the move completed, which would have been a very good one. That might have been Cameron Daz, actually, who was able to make that move as they now come down towards turn number 4. This for the second time of Arsene. Sato's lead is over a second. We're still side by side in this battle between Gonzalez and Cameron Daz, and I think Gonzalez has just been able to get back in front as we now come up to the left-hander. No, that looks like Cameron Daz is actually through. Gonzalez under pressure. Oh, and that's Christian Hahn off briefly into the gravel, but a good save in the end there, Elliot.
Javier Gonzalez in 7th place has dropped a huge amount of time to Christian Hahn before he had his off. At the back, Billy Munger did a double move on Rui Andrade and Jack Doohan around the outside of turn 3. As our front group are about to complete the second lap of the race, we're going to see how much of a lead Marino Sato's already pulled out over Linus Lundqvist.
Yeah.
1.5 seconds, but he's only just ahead of Julian Hanses. Hanses doesn't look quite close enough to make a move into turn 1, but he's got the long run up to turn 3 straight afterwards.
Yep, exactly that. That long run up to turn 3 is where most overtaking's going on. Here's Billy Munger trying to dive down the outside, and sensibly, I think, backed out of that move in the end on Pierre-Louis Chauvet. So he's going to have to try again at 3 or possibly 4. Jack Doohan into the pit lane.
Oh, and Julian Hans has just hit the back of Linus Lundqvist's car. Just a little tap on the rear, but that might cause damage to both of them. We're seeing a shot of Doohan in the pit lane now. Might be a bit difficult without Jack to remove the front wing there. Yeah, we had double Jack.
Yeah, we had mechanics tripping up over each other as well there, but hopefully the guys get that one sorted quickly. The Double R team, and we'll have that Jack Doohan car back out as quickly as possible. But he's gone from being on the podium yesterday to making up the numbers so far in this race. Unless we get a safety car, he is probably going to be at the back of the field. But time will tell. That is the number 12. Is it? No, I think that's Cameron Daz or Nikolai Kiergaard we were just looking at there as they charge up towards turn number 9 now. And
Billy Munger's jumped 2 cars at once, Aldo Festante and Pierre-Louis Chauvet. We didn't see that on our screens. Hopefully we'll get a replay of that move as Marino Sato is about to cross the line for a 3rd lap.
Yeah, well, Munger next for him will be Nikolai Kiergaard. This is a replay of the start then, Elliot.
And there's a strong start from Lucas Dunner in the middle of the picture, the white car, who's just shot between everyone, but he's already boxed up going into turn 1. He possibly could have made another move there had he gone for the inside line.
Yeah, this was another look on the exit of 3, which is where we saw Christian Hahn going off and a couple others as well. Then this was the last corner. Oh, and that was where Jack Doohan lost his front wing. There you can see, so easy to do around that final corner.
Yeah, the exact same thing happened to Christian Hahn in qualifying. Avoided the sausage curb, but actually hit the dip in the grass, which is even more destructive.
Yeah, so it's which bit do you want to hit? Do you want to hit the grass or the sausage curb? It's a hard choice to make, and you've got to make it very quickly. That looked like Munger was the driver who ran wide and picked up some gravel down at turn 4. This was Lundqvist. Oh, and Hanses. Yeah, that was a bit of contact, wasn't it? A big bump from Hanses, who was just trying to get the switchback, I think, there, and was caught out by Lundqvist, who, let's say, did a textbook block pass.
Planted his car on the apex. And,
who's gone off? Who's gone off?
Christian Hahn, I think, in the lead Carlin car. He's done that twice in 2 laps now.
Yeah, it was 6 before, 7 now. So Christian Hahn is finding a few corners to go off here. and he's already been off at turn 3 as well, Christian Hahn, so not having a good race whatsoever. Now he may find himself under pressure from the likes of Gonzalez and Cameron Daz as we come up towards turn 2. Still, Lundqvist doing a great job to hold off Julian Hanses. I have to say, I thought Hanses might have been able to get past, but Lundqvist last time did a personal best, 126.4. Marino Sato is in the 125s though, and pulling away. His gap is 2.5 seconds now as Lundqvist just going slightly to the middle of the road there to block off or to convince Julian Hanses just to not make that move for the time being. So Lundqvist holds on for now, Hanses behind, but this is starting to create a bit of a queue because we've got Lucas Dunner third in this queue, catching in 4th, and Callum Williams is also catching in 5th place as well.
Just from the naked eye, just looking at a screen, it looks like Double R Racing on Lundqvist's car is running a little less wing than the Motorpark car behind, which should make him faster in a straight line, but would help Hanses get closer in the corners. Would explain why it's kind of a checkmate at the moment, not checkmate, stalemate, and that neither of them are passing each other.
Yeah, that's a very good point, actually, and a good spot as well. So that is a setup that the Lundqvist team have gone for just to avoid being done on the brakes down at turn 3 or possibly 4. So Lundqvist, that is working in his favour at the moment. But what about Hanses behind? Can he try and find somewhere else to make a move? He's going to come under pressure himself now from Lucas Dunner, who's going to be receiving the tow of both drivers going up to turn number 3 as they work their way now down to 3. This is Munger making a move on Nikolai Kjærgaard.
Yeah, Kjærgaard lost 2 places on the last lap, and Hanses is trying to go around the outside Lundqvist, turn 3. Lundqvist locks up. Could he get the crossover? I don't think Hanses can. Oh no, he has got alongside. They're going downhill now into turn 4.
Yep, Hanses has drawn alongside then, so he has finally got the better of Lundqvist, but he's going to have to hold on, and the brakes down towards turn number 4. Lundqvist dives to the outside. Through turn 4 we go. Dunner trying to get involved in the background as well. This is your battle for second place. It's Hanses, Lundqvist and Dunner in that order, and in the background watching on is Callum Williams as they come through turn number 6, now down towards Niki Lauda corner, this for the 6th time of the race. And now Hanses has got past. He seems to have been released from this battle, and he's now going to have to try and chip away at his teammate, Marino Sato.
And Billy Munger was on the rear of Cameron Dass. He set personal best first sector, but he's dropped a few tenths now. Munger is, I think, the fastest man on track at the moment. Let's see a replay of the Linus Lundqvist Julian Hanses battle.
That makes sense. Lundqvist locked up, and that just saw him run a little bit wide, and Hanses was able to draw alongside on the exit of the corner. That's the pressure from Hanses there, getting the better of Lundqvist.
Billy Munger's going for a move at turn 1 on Cameron Dass. Fortunately, that's not on our screen right now. And he's completed it. We just saw them blur through the picture there.
Yep, so Munger is through. We did see a replay there just before that of a kind of failed attempt to get through, but that time Munger succeeds, and he's up into 7th place now. So 14th to 7th in 6 laps. That's not a bad effort at all. Let's see how much further he can get. It's Javier Gonzalez who will be next for him, 1.3 seconds ahead. There you can see on the left of your screen the graphic showing how many positions they have gained or lost in the race. Up 5 is Cameron Daz, up 7 is Munger, Callum Williams up 3, but then you can see the biggest loser in the field, the likes of Doohan down 10 and Hahn down 4.
But Jack Doohan is currently going fastest on track. He set the best middle sector of the race. He is a lap down, but at this rate, he could get 1 point by setting fastest lap, which he just has set at 1 minute 25.192.
Yeah, so if you're going to get anything out of this race now, if you're Jack Doohan, that's what it's going to be, a 0.4 fastest lap, and at least he is giving it a good go. He'll be hoping a safety car comes out at some point so he can get back on the tail of this group. Here's the move from Munger then, just got a really good run down the start-finish straight and was already alongside when they got to the braking zone. Nicely completed there, and had to defend from Cameron Cameron Daz at the following corner, but Munger was able to do so and has already pulled a little bit of a gap. Well, it leaves Cameron Daz now under pressure from another Carlin driver in Christian Hahn, and another Carlin driver just behind that in Nikolai Kiergaard as they come down towards turn number 3. Christian Hahn trying to get up the inside. There's not going to be enough room there though, so he dives back down to the outside, and Cameron Daz showing him the curbs on the exit there, and that's forced Christian Hahn to just sit behind for now. A good defensive drive that from Cameron Daz, but the pressure is not going to stop there.
He used up all the road there and he's jinking left and right. He's trying to hold on to the position. He's completed it through turn 4. Further ahead of them, Moreno Sato had extended lead up to 3.6 seconds. Julian Hanses is bringing that down sector by sector now. He set fastest lap, 125.1, and he's closed in on his teammate by several attempts on this lap as well.
Well, there we go. We'll keep an eye on that one then over the next lap or so, but here we can see Christian Hahn now under pressure from Nikolai Kiergaard. There is Kiergaard there in the number 63 car, 4th of the rookies at the moment. The top 3 rookies are Lundqvist in 3rd, Gonzalez in 6th, and Munger in 7th place. So even if they can't get an overall podium, the likes of Gonzalez and Munger, a rookie podium would still be something they can take with them. Oh, as Hahn has run wide there, and that's allowed Kiergaard to go through, and Hahn now having to weave. I think must have run on the grass and got the tyres a little bit dirty there, but that's yet another mistake for Christian Hahn.
And yet another fastest lap for Julian Hanses, 1 minute 25.104. Just over a tenth faster than Moreno Sato. He's got the gap down at the front to 3 seconds. And Billy Munger's going down the inside of Javier Gonzalez for 6th. A very clean move there at turn 3. But Gonzalez will have the slipstream heading down to turn 4.
Fantastic driving this from Billy Munger. To remind you, he started 14th on the grid. He is now up to 6th place. So still setting very good times as well. He's still on par with Moreno Sato out front. He's lapping only a tenth slower than Moreno Sato, and he's quicker than Linus Lundqvist in 3rd place. Oh, there you can see that was a huge off that from Christian Hahn. I think this is just real signs of frustration from Hahn. His teammate, though, Billy Munger, there you can see, very clean move down at turn 3. Well executed there from the British driver as he dives down the inside of the Mexican and takes the place. So that is the Carlin team as well. Next for Billy Munger, though, is Callum Williams, who is in or at the back of this train we're seeing on our screens. That is a whole 6 seconds up the road. So really, even though he's setting very good pace, he's going to need these guys to get in a real fight to close in, or one of the things I've been saying quite a lot in this race, get a safety car come out.
I think Hahn demonstrated something very controversial, you could say, about this circuit this weekend and over the recent weeks. By avoiding the sausage curb, the drivers are having to take on a grass dip, which is almost as destructive. If you go even further than that, as Hahn just did, because you're on so much grass, when you return to the track, you're very loose. And in other races, we've seen people spin when they do that. So it's almost more dangerous doing it that way than just hitting the sausage curb and ending your race there.
It's a real challenge, this circuit. You've got gravel traps and sausage curbs at every single corner, pretty much. We resume this battle then. This is Daz versus Kiergaard. Kiergaard trying to go around the outside, but Cameron Daz has been defending very, very well so far. The only driver that's been able to get by him so far, I think, is the likes of Billy Munger. So Cameron Daz putting up a real stern defence in this race, but Kiergaard, let's see what he can do over the remaining 10 laps as they come up towards the final 2 corners. That is Kiergaard on your screen now. Sato out front still leads by over 3 seconds from Julian Hanses. Lundqvist is slowly falling into the clutches, I think, here of Lucas Dunner. And another mistake from Christian Hahn. Well, I've lost count how many times he's gone off the road all on his own now, but yet another mistake from Christian Hahn, who is just having a real race to forget here.
He definitely is, and it's not helpful that he's already destroyed the car in qualifying yesterday, and he's making more errors today. Cameron Daz was hassled by Nikolai Kiergaard at this same point in the last lap. Kiergaard tried going around the outside of turn 4. We'll see if the Dane tries to make the same move again this time around. They're currently heading to turn 3.
On the brakes they go, and Kiergaard not able to get through. I think he's just trying to reset and rethink here. Well, here you can see the replay, Elliot.
Very wide.
And you can see a little bit of grass taken as well. That was at turn number 9, and he's, well, he's just had a warning for track limits there as well. I think we can see why. We haven't seen this driver for a while. This is Marino Sato. He is set for his 8th win of the season if he can take this, and it will be 6 in a row. He will have been unbeaten at Spa, Hungaroring and Red Bull Ring if Marino Sato can just keep it on the road, which he's been doing very well so far this season. He's just got to manage this gap now. He's got a gap of 3 seconds. He doesn't really need to push too hard now, does he, Sato?
Julian Hanses, though, has just set the fastest lap at 1 minute 24.9. He's dropped that gap to 2.8 seconds. Smallest it's been since, I think, lap 4 of this race.
Well, let's remember, Marino Sato did this yesterday. He was setting laps which, by his standards, were fairly average, and Jack Doohan closed in to about half a second, and then in the last 5 laps Marino Sato extended his lead by about a second or so in the space of 2 to 3 laps. So Marino Sato can be a very patient driver. Sometimes he'll manage a race and save some life in his tyres to the very end in case he needs them. So I would not be surprised to see this gap coming down, and I wouldn't read a huge amount into it just yet. But nevertheless, Hanses is really pushing, and he's gone purple again through Sector 1. This, however, is something that is kicking off a battle that is happening right now, and it is Lundqvist versus Dunno for the final step on the podium.
I think on the matter of saving tyres, Billy Munger might be doing the same thing in 6th place. He has 6-second gap to Callum Williams in front, and he's currently lapping slower than him. We're going to see a replay of Pierre-Louis Chevet overtaking Rui Andrade for 12th place.
Nice
but
move.
With Billy Munger, he could be waiting for a safety car here, because it'd take a lot of life out of his tyres to try and close down 6 seconds.
And that replay there, we saw the 99 of Rui Andrade going back past Pierre-Louis Chevet. So a great battle going on between those two. And I can tell you, Andrade is still in 12th and Chevet still in 13th.
And Hanses has gone fastest again, 1 minute 24.7, 2 tenths faster than he was last time. Gap is down to 2.4 seconds.
Well, it is getting very close, closer than it has been for a long time between Sato and Hanses. Sato had all the pace at the start of the race. Now Hanses is up to second and past Linus Lundqvist. He is really responding. The gap is only 2 seconds now. So, well, is this a case of just Hanses being much quicker than Sato, or is Sato just easing off a little bit? All will be revealed in the final 7 laps of the race. And who's going to join those two on the podium? Is it going to be Lundqvist or is it going to be Dunno? Is it going to be either of these two? Unless we see them come together as they come through turn number 6 for the 13th time. And Lundqvist doing very well under excessive pressure here. He knows Dunno's behind him. He knows it's Lucas Dunno's first race. Lucas Dunno, I wonder what is going through his mind at the moment. Is he perhaps waiting for a little bit further into the race to make his move?
Dunno will be wanting that podium more than anything right now. So I imagine he'll be pushing as hard as he can to try and force Lundqvist into a mistake, because we have seen on multiple occasions this season that Lundqvist has not necessarily buckled under pressure, but made costly errors that have resulted in a lot of points.
Yeah, something you often see with rookies in championships, and Lundqvist is one of 7 rookies out there at the moment, and that is what your rookie season is all about doing, just learning, making those mistakes so you can learn from them. But Lundqvist then up towards turn number 3. At the moment, no mistakes in this race so far, doing very, very well to hold off Lucas Dunno. He may have been caught, but since being caught, he has not buckled under the pressure at all. Callum Williams is 2.3 seconds behind this. Then it is Munger, Gonzalez, Daz, Kiergaard, Christian Hahn rounds out the top 10. At the moment, we had a personal best lap from Jack Doohan last time around, 125.029. That is just 600ths slower than Marino Sato, who did a 124.967.
And that was Sato responding to his teammate Julian Hanses, starting to put a little bit of pressure on him, but he's built up his gap back up to 2.8 seconds. Hanses was running in the 1 minute 24 for several laps. His last lap was a 1 minute 25.1. Our front two are about to cross the line, so we're going to see if that gap's got any larger or possibly even smaller.
Well, this is what we were saying earlier in the race. Marino Sato, is he just waiting for the final few laps?
He's pulled out another few tenths. 1 minute 24.8, so only a little slower than Hans's best lap, but Hans is now lapping in the 1 minute 25s.
Sato almost likes to tease drivers into thinking they are getting close to a win, and then just shattering those dreams by putting in fastest laps and pulling the gap back out excessively is something he did yesterday. He is doing it again today, Marino Sato. In control out front. How can he be beaten? It's almost a case of how rather than when with the performances he's putting in this championship at the moment. But Lundqvist versus Dunne. Lundqvist will be desperate to get on the podium, having made some mistakes yesterday and missed out on the podium. Dunne, though, wants to be back there. It's his home race. He's got a lot of support here today. He's sporting that Niki Lauda tribute helmet, which he's had designed specifically for this round of the championship. He will want to be on that podium desperately, but Lundqvist has something to fight for as well. Lundqvist is the lead rookie as well, but judging by his expressions on the rookie podium yesterday, he really is not bothered about that. He wants overall podiums, not rookie podiums, as he comes round the final corner now to complete lap number 15. So behind this is Callum Williams. He is about 2.8 seconds back. Billy Munger is dropped to a 6.6 back behind that. And then the field fairly spaced out. Cameron Diaz, Kiergaard, Javier Gonzalez, 7th, 8th and 9th are fairly close together. Andrade and Chauvet are split by about a second. We've got a warning for Rui Andrade for track limits at turn 9, and Lucas Dunne, he had to think about it there, didn't he? He had to think about diving up the inside. I wonder if he's just spending a couple of laps to try and line this move up and go for it in the final couple of laps.
Yeah, looking at the front, Marino Sato, though, is going very quickly. 1 minute 24.6 now. I don't think anyone else can be setting lap times apart from Sato at this rate. Looking further down the field, I don't think we can see any more overtaking apart from this battle for third between Lundqvist and Dunne, which is all about home pride.
Yeah, it is. Well, I tell you that, saying that, Cameron Diaz is only 4 tenths back from Gonzalez now, so that could be one we see as well. But this is the battle for the final step on the podium, so this is the one we shall stay with for the time being as they come up towards turn at number 9. This has been a corner that has caught a few people out. The one catching almost every driver out is this corner, the last corner. At some point this weekend, most drivers have had a slight off there. It's a very tricky corner, very quick downhill right-hander, and it takes you onto the start-finish straight. So it's crucial to get right as they go in towards turn number 1 for the 17th time now of 19. And it's almost like we're watching a replay. The gap has stayed exactly like this for a number of laps now.
Yeah, and Callum Williams in 5th place has extended his lead over Billy Munger now to 6.4 seconds. So I don't think Munger will be closing that in, but that's still a good result for Billy because he's been outside the points for, I think, 5 races now, and he's had the pace to win this weekend. Obviously had to start from the back today, but 14th to 6th, that's 8 cars he's overtaken in this race.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. I'd say it's perhaps, with how this race has gone, the best he could have done, I think, as we look back at this battle we were talking about not long ago. Gonzalez is at the front of it, and then it's Daz, Kiergaard and Hahn in that order. Christian Hahn, who's really put himself at the back of the field, having had the number of offs he's had. He was in the battle for 2nd place at the start of the race and now finds himself down in 10th place, battling for 7th at best. A really frustrating weekend for the Brazilian driver and Carlin as a whole. It's not been the weekend they would have hoped for.
And Marino Sato sending a message here. He's just set the fastest middle sector and another sub-25 third last sector, although it's actually Hans's who set the quicker lap there. But those two have pulled away entirely. Sato's extended lead to 3.6 seconds over the last few laps, so pretty comfortable going into the final 2 laps of this race.
And it's only 2 tenths now between Lundqvist and Dunne, and here they are. Dunne then, has he waited for the perfect time to make this move? It's the penultimate lap, through the left-hander at 2, up towards turn number 3. Dunne draws alongside. Can he get the edge under the braking. Let's have a look. He's going to run wide. Oh dear, Lucas Dunner off there. He's going to take the position, but surely he's going to have to give that one back. He looked like he got the better of Lundqvist under braking, but he was on the outside, and in my opinion, Lucas Dunner surely has to give that place back now, as we can see more drivers going off on the exit of turn 3, but that time not making a position did Cameron Daz. He allowed Javier Gonzalez to stay ahead. Well, Dunner is in 3rd at the moment, but Lundqvist is just behind in 4th place as Elliott shoots off to get down to the podium in time for the end of this race. And we thank him for being with us for the entire weekend. He'll be, of course, here for the duration of the season, as down at turn number 6, that looked like Nikolai Kiergaard trying to make a move. Yes, car 8, Lucas Dunner must give that place back. Let's have another look at it. Under braking, he was alongside Lundqvist. Lundqvist gave him enough space, but Lucas Dunner, well, he was just a little bit too late and immediately bailed out of the corner. Let's have another look from this angle. Yes, Dunner, just knowing he was no way going to make the move, went off the circuit. He's going to have to give that place back. That's a message directly from the stewards. Here is kind of a similar incident between the number 25 there of Cameron Daz and Javier Gonzalez, but Cameron Daz did not take the place. Well, Lucas Dunner has given the place back. We are on the final lap of the race, and behind this it looks like we've got Callum Williams closing in 5th place as well. But can Lucas Dunner get the place? Lundqvist defends in 3rd place. Dunner to the outside. This at turn number 4 now for the final time. Sato and Hansis are well clear ahead. But who is going to stand on the podium with them? Will it be Lundqvist or will it be the Austrian Lucas Dunner? He's going to have everyone in the Red Bull Ring, bar Linus Lundqvist team, cheering him on as we now go back to Marino Sato, who's heading up to the penultimate corner there for the final time. Marino Sato, he's led almost every lap this weekend. It is going to be 6 wins on the bounce and 8 for the season. The Japanese driver Marino Sato takes yet another win for Team Motorpark. Julian Hansis makes it a 1-2, and behind Linus Lundqvist, after a bad day yesterday, comes back with a bang today, 3rd place and on the podium for the rookie Lucas Dunner. It's heartbreak for the home fans. He just misses out in 4th. Callum Williams will finish in 5th place. Billy Munger, a superb 6th from 14th on the grid. Javier Gonzalez leads this train home to finish in 7th place. Cameron Daz is 8th. Nikolai Kiergaard is 9th. Then it's Christian Hahn in 10th. He'll be bitterly disappointed having made all his mistakes. Aldo Vistante is 11th. Rui Andrade is 12th. Then it's Jack Doohan and another non-finish, unfortunately, for Pierre-Louis Chauvet. But there is your race winner. It is the number 33. Once again, it is Marino Sato. Here is a replay, by the way, of Lundqvist versus Dunner. That was the moment Lucas Dunner gave the place back. You have to think, if Lucas Dunner had given that place immediately back to Lundqvist, going up to turn 3 on the final lap, he would have been in the tow and would have had a chance to complete that move successfully. Instead, at turn 3, one of the biggest, if not the biggest, overtaking opportunity here at the Red Bull Ring, he was having to give a place back. I only feel Lucas Dunner made a slight mistake there in not giving the place immediately back. But there we go. It's easy for me to say that sat here in the commentary box. It's a different thing being on circuit. Confirmed results then. Marino Sato takes the win from Julian Hansis. Linus Lundqvist is 3rd place. Then it's Dunner in 4th. Williams 5th. Billy Munger 6th from 14th on the grid. Then it's Javier Gonzalez 7th, Cameron Daz is 8th, Nikolai Kiergaard 9th, Christian Hahn is in 10th place. And outside of the top 10, it is Aldo Vistante, Rui Andrade, Jack Doohan from the podium yesterday, 13th today after picking up damage to his front wing, and another DNF, unfortunately, for Pierre-Louis Chauvet. Well, it's now over 100 points ahead of the rest of the field for Marino Sato. 262 points with 6 rounds completed. Lucas Dunner is 2nd. Liam Lawson, Yuki Tsunoda, were not here this weekend. They drop to 3rd and 4th place and will be back next time at Silverstone. We do have 3 rounds still remaining: Silverstone, Barcelona and Monza. If you're near any of those circuits, make sure you do come and visit us and watch the racing trackside. But if not, make sure you are with us, because the championship still very, very interesting. Behind this man, it's whether this driver can be beaten now. Marino Sato, he has been quite literally unstoppable in the last part of this season. 6 wins on the bounce. He's taken the top step of the podium in every race at Spa, Hungaroring and Red Bull Ring. And there you can hear the round of applause from Marino Sato. Big celebrations from the Japanese driver. 2 teammates embracing with each other. It's Julian Hanses in second. It's a 1-2 for Team Motorpark, having locked out the front row. Lights to flag win for Marino Sato. He won in the end by just under 3 seconds, but it was over that before he slowed down to celebrate with the team. Linus Lundqvist, we haven't seen him yet, but he takes the rookie win and 3rd place. A fantastic result considering he was 5th yesterday, and there he is, the Swedish driver. Very, very pleased with that result. He was really disappointed yesterday. He made a mistake at turn 7 and went off the circuit, kind of took himself out of contention, but he made up for it today. There is Elliot, just waiting to speak to our top 3. Behind that, though, Dunner, he got his podium yesterday. He would have been disappointed not to have done it here on Sunday. But 4th place, a very good weekend still for him. Callum Williams, 5th, as we said, just outside the top 5. From last on the grid, Billy Munger. Well, the top 3, let's recap that then. It was Linus Lundqvist who went to 3rd. He was under pressure from Lucas Dunner, but on the last lap, he was just about able to hold on. Up the road, Julian Hanses, once past the Swedish driver, shot off to get a 6-second gap in the end in 2nd place. But he could only get 3 seconds to this driver here, Marino Sato. It's his 8th win of the season and 6 on the bounce. Let's hear from him.
Marino Sato, what can we say after yet another victory?
Yeah, it had been a very good weekend for us. Thank you.
And how was this 2nd race? Some fight at the top.
Yeah, the first we managed to pull the gap away, quite a comfortable gap in the first lap. From then, at some point, Julian's pace was stronger than me. I was really pushing to get the fastest lap as well. At the end, we were a bit struggling, but yeah, really happy about the race.
Good. And to make something different, can you say bye-bye in Japanese or say something back home?
Thank you. ありがとうございました。
Race 2 at round 6 got underway in dry conditions, and at the front to the right of picture, Marino Sato from pole position would get into the lead. Behind, on the very right of screen, Linus Lundqvist there went down the outside of Julian Hanses to get into 2nd place at the start of the race with a fantastic move. At turn 3, there were cars running wide, including Christian Hahn, who would do that again on a number of occasions as he dropped down the field. Jack Doohan took himself out of the race early on when he ran wide at the final corner. He would still finish, but at the very back of the field. That was Billy Munger there trying to make a move and running a little bit wide, but he'd make lots of them, this being an example of one of them. Down at turn number 1 from 14th and last on the grid after having his time deleted in qualifying, he would eventually get up to 6th place. This was Rui Andrade making a move down at 3. Up ahead though, the fight for 3rd was the main talking point. It was Lundqvist versus Dunner. Dunner to the outside, tried to make the move at 3 and then went off the road, came back on and took that 3rd place. The stewards deemed that to be an unfair move. He was forced to give the position back and would finish 4th. But out front, Marino Sato would take his 8th win of the season, 6th in a row. Can he be beaten? He now leads the championship by over 100 points. Hanses made it a Team Motorpark 1-2, and behind it was Lundqvist who rounded out the podium. Well, let's go to our podium then. Lundqvist, he's there in 3rd place, already on the podium. Now we welcome Julian Hanses, the German driver. He is really starting to kick on in this championship now, but out front, he's over 100 points clear from the rest of the field. It's Marino Sato, the 8th time he has stood on the top step. And the winning team, it is, of course, Team Motorpark. Very proud stands Marino Sato, the Japanese driver, taking yet another win in this championship. Has he already got one hand on that championship trophy with just 3 rounds remaining? Finally, a smile on the podium. He didn't smile on the rookie podium yesterday, but smiling on that overall podium today. Linus Lundqvist in second place. Julian Hansis, yet another podium. That's his 4th of the season now. He is racking those up. He'll want to get to that top step, though, but to get there, he's going to have to beat this man. 8 for the season now. It's Marino Sato wins once again. Another double victory with the Red Bull Ring. Both races here, both races at Hungaroring, and both races at Spa as well. But one more trophy to give, as Marino Sato already trying to get that bottle of champagne open. But of course, we're going to have to honour the team first, though. It's Team Motor Park, very hard-working team, and Julie get their trophy and round of applause as well. But we'll get a photo with our top 3 and our winning team there, you can see, before we start the celebrations. Well, thanks for being with us on the coverage. It's been fantastic to call the action for you this weekend. Myself, Chris McCarthy. Don't forget, we have Silverstone, Barcelona and Monza still to come. Plenty of racing still to go, but it's time for the champagne now. Marino Sato getting these celebrations underway. Our next round, by the way, will be on the 7th and 8th of September, and it will be from Silverstone. Thank you very much for being with us. We'll be back for the rookie podium. Time for the rookie podium now. Javier Gonzalez will be the first of the drivers to come up, having finished third in the rookie standings and 7th place overall. So we'll welcome him onto the podium first. There you can see the drivers getting ready. Javier Gonzalez will come out first, and he's already out there. But now we reckon second in the rookies. It will be Billy Munger, who finished 6th overall from 14th on the grid. So Billy Munger about to come out now, and there you can see, big round of applause for Billy Munger. 8 places gained in that race. You can see Javier Gonzalez already stood on the podium. Here comes Billy Munger, there he is. 6th place, finally gets a decent result after a bit of a bad run of form. He's had a bit of a bad time of it recently, but Billy Munger back in form there. 6th place from 14th on the grid. He'll be absolutely delighted with that. But on the top step, he was 3rd overall. It is Linus Lundqvist, of course. There you can see Javier Gonzalez. He's had a pretty good weekend. A 6th and a 7th for him. 2 rookie podiums. And Billy Munger wasn't a good race yesterday, but it's a good one today. 14th to 6th and a rookie podium. Brilliant drive from him. But a fantastic drive at the head of the rookies, and 3rd overall. He held off Lucas Dunner to get an overall podium. Now it's top step of the rookies. It's Linus Lundqvist. A huge congratulations to him. He has driven superbly this weekend. We'll get a picture with our top 3, and then the celebrations continue, and we will end our coverage there. So thank you very much for tuning in for the Red Bull Ring round of the 2019 Euroformula Open Championship. As I said, we'll be back for the next round, round 7, which will be at Silverstone on the 7th and 8th of September. Make sure you're with us.